Oracle just announced that they have a multi-billion-dollar deal incoming. Meta is spending a lot and a lot of money in AI hires, and we finally get a list of who came into the company. We have some updates to the Google and OpenAI news, some Nvidia news, and so much more. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so first I kind of want to start off with very positive news. I think I want to start off with Oracle. Stock was up nearly 4% today, sitting at $218. The main reason in an SEC filing, the CEO of Oracle mentions that she plans to meet with other Oracle colleagues later today, and she would say that Oracle is off to a strong start in fiscal year of 2026. Their multi-cloud database revenue continues to grow at over 100%, and they signed multiple large cloud service agreements, including one that is expected to contribute more than $30 billion in annual revenue starting in fiscal year of 2028. So remember, we are kind of like their fiscal year right now. They're just starting fiscal year 2026. So fiscal year of 2028 would be somewhere around summer or early or mid 2027 calendar year. So about 2 years from now. Now, first thing is, this is obviously very exciting and bullish for Oracle as it's becoming this strong player in the cloud infrastructure market, something we've discussed in this channel for numerous times. The second thing is, I do believe this kind of continues to fuel the bullish sentiment and this bullish thought that the AI market is just getting started. This $30 billion in annual revenue starting by that time, that means they're going to need some crazy data centers to have that type of annual revenue. So I believe we're going to continue to see an advancement and an increase in capital expenditure by the big tech giants. Now, the other thing that's actually given me the same kind of thought process is Meta Platforms. So Meta Platforms was up only about 0.6%. Most of the market was up a little bit more throughout the day before pulling and getting some of those gains back. But Meta Platforms is spending a lot in AI companies. Now, before we go anywhere, if you're looking for the best AI news for your stock investments, and not just financial numbers, right? To truly understand what is happening in the AI space, to truly understand what is happening in the semiconductor space, completely free. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. You get daily videos here. So Meta Platforms, what's going on here with Meta Platforms? So Meta Platforms has been spending a lot of money in AI. And the reason being is it does seem like maybe their recent Llama model wasn't the best, and there needed to be a complete reshape in way that they were handling the business. And I think this is actually pretty good. I mean, the stock right now is sitting at all-time highs. Maybe the market is giving it a little bit too much praise, but Mark Zuckerberg is saying, before we become the Apple of AI, and we'll talk about Apple later on, before we kind of become this lagger in AI, let's try to move the ship right now. We have the first failure, and I'm not going to sit here to wait for the second failure in a Llama model or any of these AI solutions. Instead, we got this first failure. Let's kind of increase our overall resources by hiring some of the craziest engineers out there. So based on this report, Mark sent an internal memo, and we can find this internal memo here in CNBC, and I've highlighted some of the key points. So as the pace of AI progress accelerates, developing super intelligence is coming into sight. I believe this will be the beginning of a new era for humanity, and I am fully committed to doing what it takes for Meta to lead the way. So very similar to that Oracle thesis, I don't know what's happening in this AI space, but everybody is getting extremely bullish in the last month or so about the demand for AI. And I think this is crazy. It is really crazy. I mean, we've seen all these players continue to expand their capital expenditure, but I don't know. I feel like throughout the whole AI universe right now, we are seeing this ultimate bullish sentiment. So he does mention that Alexander Wang has joined Meta to serve as their Chief AI Officer and lead MSL. So MSL is going to be the new unit. They're going to start at the Meta Super Intelligence Lab. This is include all their foundation products and fair teams, as well as new labs focused on developing next generation of their models. So they're putting all these AI teams into this MSL, which is the, like I mentioned, the Meta Super Intelligence Lab. And for those that are not familiar with Alexander Wang, he was the co-founder and CEO, and he built Scale AI into a fast-growing company involved in the development of almost all leading models across the industry. I actually think this move as a CEO is actually pretty smart. He also mentions that Nat Friedman has also joined Meta to partner with Alex to lead MSL. For those that are not familiar with that, he ran GitHub at Microsoft and most recently has run one of the leading AI investment firms. We also have several strong new team members joining today or who have joined in the past few weeks that I'm excited to share as well. So they hired actually a lot of OpenAI. They've hired someone who pioneered the the reasoning on chain of thoughts and co-created of O series models at OpenAI. They also hired the co-creator of GPT-4o voice and O Mini. We also see the co-creator of GPT's 4o image generation. We also see someone who built O3 Mini, O4 Mini, and a lot of these other solutions. We have someone that inference at Anthropic. We have someone that led pre-training for Gemini. We have someone that co-created GPT 4o Mini and lead a lot of post-training at OpenAI. We have someone who's a Google fellow. We have someone that helped at Gemini and Waymo. Again, more OpenAI as well. Mark Zuckerberg is very excited about the progress they have planned for Llama 4.1 and 4.2. They are also going to start research on the next generation of models to get to the frontier in the next year or so. They're still forming this group and will ask several people across their AI org to join this lab, and they're going to continue to hire and poach people from other AI organizations. But Mark kind of finishes off by saying Meta is uniquely positioned to deliver super intelligence to the world. They have a strong business that supports building out significant more compute than smaller labs. They are also pioneering and leading the AI glasses and wearables category that is growing very quickly. And I think this is what's happening. I think this evolution in AI, especially in the consumer space, I don't know what they're seeing, but it seems to be adopting a lot faster than maybe they thought it would. And because of that, they want to be as aggressive as they can as possible. I mean, we see Oracle being super aggressive at building these data centers. We see Meta now being very aggressive, offering hundreds of millions of dollars salaries for these AI engineers and AI scientists. And we see them really focus in this space. There's also reports here that kind of continue here that Meta is in talks for $29 billion of data center financing, building some through equity and some through further debt. And this is after the company mentioned that they were going to increase their capital expenditure in May when they reported earnings. So again, right now, the AI market is in full swing and there is not enough compute, or it's what we're seeing right now. I mean, we are going to take a closer look at Google here. But if you haven't, make sure to hit the thumbs up, like I mentioned. Make sure to check out my free daily semiconductor newsletter, whatthechiphappened.com. And I have a special offer at fiscal.ai/Jose for a lot of great charts. If you're into investing, that is a must-use platform. I use it every single day. Now, jumping back here to Google, right? So Google was pretty much down 0.5% for the day after having a massive rally up. So over the weekend, we had this crazy news that I've covered a few times in the past few days of OpenAI using Alphabet and their TPUs. And this created this massive excitement. Now, unfortunately, it does seem like the information, and I'm going to say the information lately has been not given us, maybe not lately, but every time I hear an article not being completely true, it's coming from this industry. So the information has since updated their article stating that after publishing their initial report, an OpenAI spokesperson contacted the publication to say OpenAI didn't have current plans to use TPU specifically. So it seems that right now, OpenAI could care less about TPUs, but the overall story stays the same, in my opinion, for the bullish thesis of the AI market. I think the AI market is supply constraint that they didn't deny the fact that they're working with Google Cloud. What they denied was the fact that TPUs are being discussed in this contract. So if they didn't deny it, I'm going to say they continue to expand this partnership with Google Cloud, which overall solidifies this thesis that AI compute is so hard to find around. Now, I want to jump into another Mac 7 and my least favorite Mac 7 of all, Apple. Apple was actually up about 2% for the day. It's finally kicking, it's finally waking up. Many people are saying that Tim Cook is finally cooking in the kitchen with the AI space. I don't think we have to go that far. I think he's microwaving at most right now. But there are reports that Apple weighs on using Anthropic or OpenAI to power Siri in major reversals. So Apple has been lacking dramatically in the AI space. They're working on their own model and trying to make Siri as powerful as they can, but it seems like it's not working. Apple has this massive ecosystem, this massive community, this massive consumer base, but they're lacking in key technology. Now, it seems like Apple is looking to team up with someone to really be able to do that. I mean, they've teamed up with OpenAI in the past, but I wonder if now it's definitely a very interesting place because OpenAI wants to design its own AI hardware company. It wants to become a massive player. Does it give this bread and butter to Apple to make their Siri and overall platform stronger? Obviously, it would be beneficial for them because they get this kind of exposure of more people into the AI space. But then do you weaken your moat by kind of giving this solution to Apple instead of saving it for whatever hardware you're working with? So I think this is going to be pretty interesting and to see which one ends up choosing. Anthropic does seem to be a little bit more safety side. So maybe Apple with its data security stuff might end up choosing Anthropic. But it seems like Tim Cook, Apple might be finally maybe waking up. I'm not going to say cooking, maybe just waking up. Now, the final topic here I want to take a closer look at is Nvidia. Some things I haven't covered in the past few days. There's a lot, but Nvidia holding here $158, still demolishing. I'm super excited for Nvidia. Pretty excited. This is my biggest stock. The first thing is we are hearing reports that Nvidia insiders dumped more than $1 billion in stock, according to report. This is why I hate investing in companies that I have no information about, because titles like that could scare off investors. If you've been watching this channel, you know that since their 10Q report, which came out for their latest earnings a little bit about a month ago, the company mentioned that they had a Rule 10b-5 in place for trading, that some of their top executive, like Jensen Huang, was expected to sell about 6 million shares throughout the upcoming second half of the year. So obviously they're going to be unloading. They actually told us about a month ago. Now, some might say, Jose, 6 million shares is a lot. But is it really when you think about Jensen Huang? I talk about this in my free daily semiconductor newsletter about a week ago. Jensen Huang, if he sells that whole 6 million shares, that's less than 1% of its overall shares that he owns through himself or some of the other funds that he owns. That is nothing. Imagine you selling 1% of your portfolio and making a big deal about it. It's not a big deal. So I would say fear, uncertainty, and doubt that comes with stuff like this, I wouldn't even listen or pay attention to it. Now, the second thing is there's also kind of, in my opinion, fake bulls out there or exciting bulls. So there's this report that NVIDIA's latest GP300 AI servers will start shipping in H2, say supply chain sources. I don't know how this is news, but people are getting excited as, look, the GP300 is coming a little bit ahead of schedule. We've heard through NVIDIA's earnings that the GP300 is expected to ship in the second half. We don't have to kind of get any claims from sources. More importantly, if you have been following this channel, on June 24th of 2025, we actually talked about it. HPE and NVIDIA had an overall product. And in this product, we can see HPE also announced a new NVIDIA HGX B300 system is expected to be shipping in October, which is the second half of this year. I guess the quick caveat here is this, we're talking about the B300, and here they're talking about the GB300, which do have a little bit of supply chain differences. Regardless, I think it is very, very safe to assume that the Blackwell 300 via the B300 with the HGX platform or the GB300 is expected to come out at the second half of this year. Some are already shipping right now, based on earnings call transcripts from Jensen Huang. The final thing is, on Friday, I did believe we heard this news, but again, I didn't cover it. So NVIDIA acquires a Canadian machine learning company called SentML. So SentML seems to be like an orchestration of GPUs, an easier way to manage these GPUs. I mean, GPUs, you're talking about data centers having hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. If you're doing some crazy training, some crazy AI workloads, you're using a lot of GPUs. You want to make sure that they're working to their full capacity. And that's what SentML kind of helps. It's something between the hardware and the software and the end user and the cloud service provider that can help you make sure everything is working fast and efficient, especially in this inference world. This is a very small acquisition, and I don't think it's anything revolutionary. It just continues to add little bricks by bricks into this super moat that NVIDIA has created. And that's the thing about NVIDIA's moat. NVIDIA's moat is not made by one giant brick. It's made by a lot of small bricks continuing to add on a weekly, daily basis via software updates, via hardware updates, via small acquisitions like this, that it becomes almost unbreakable. Not completely unbreakable, but the overall moat is continue there, and small acquisitions like this are strong. So this is not necessarily something that would move the stock price. I don't think anything for NVIDIA should be seen as bearish or bullish. From what we heard, I think what should be very bullish is Apple is investing in AI. OpenAI needs more compute, right? Apple needing to invest in Anthropic and OpenAI. They didn't talk about it when I mentioned it. Is if they do work out with somebody, the amount of compute is going to. How many people use Apple products? How many people use Apple products on a daily basis? Now they're going to be trained to use AI, or going to be exposed to AI. The amount of compute that's going to come from that alone is amazing. So right now, I don't know what's in the air right now of this AI market, but what we're hearing from top leaders and what we're seeing from their movements, what we see from Oracle taking a large amount of debts, telling to their management, to their teams that there's $30 billion in annual revenue coming from one customer. One customer. That's wild. You have Meta Platforms, Mark, saying that AI is the future, and he's investing in top tier talent. You have Apple saying that, look, we need to find some way to increase our AI solutions. You have OpenAI going with Google and using their overall AI infrastructure. I don't know. It seems too crazy, but what we're hearing from these management is pretty telling in my opinion. So let me know what are your thoughts in the comments below. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.